Allah knows what you do not. There is a divine reason behind every delay, every silence, every unanswered prayer. But when you're in the middle of that delay, it can feel like a punishment. You might feel forgotten, ignored, or abandoned, but you are none of those things. You are a chosen one being prepared for something far greater than what you are praying for. When Allah delays, it is not because you are unworthy. It is because what you are asking for is not ready for you yet, or you are not yet ready for it. In this video, we will explore why Allah delays you and what it means when He says, "You can't handle this yet." Let's begin. 1. You're being protected from the unseen. One of the hardest things to accept in life is when something we deeply want doesn't happen. You might pray with sincerity, cry in sujood, and do everything in your power, yet nothing changes. The job doesn't come, the person walks away, the opportunity disappears, and naturally, your mind starts to question, is Allah ignoring me? Have I done something wrong? But the truth is far more comforting. Many delays are not a sign of rejection, they are a form of divine protection. You see, we as human beings only perceive a small part of reality. We judge things based on appearances, emotions, and timing. But Allah operates beyond all of that. He sees what you cannot. He knows the hidden details behind every choice, every person, every path. What seems good on the surface may have a storm brewing underneath. That job you were desperate for might have pulled you away from your faith, made you compromise your values, or placed you in an environment that poisoned your soul. That relationship you begged for might have looked perfect in your imagination, but in reality, it could have led to heartbreak, betrayal, or years of emotional suffering. When Allah withholds something, it's not because He's trying to hurt you, it's because He is protecting your heart, your iman, and your future. What feels like a closed door is actually a wall built to protect you from what would have harmed you. What feels like silence is actually the sound of Allah carefully rearranging your destiny so that you don't walk into a trap disguised as a blessing. We often ask for things that are not aligned with our long-term good. We see comfort, ease, and beauty in the short term, but Allah sees whether that ease will end in loss or whether that beauty is just a mask for suffering. And so, He delays. Not because you're not worthy of love or success, but because you are too precious to be given something that will damage your soul in ways you cannot yet imagine. You must learn to trust that the delay is mercy. You must believe that sometimes the greatest blessing is not getting what you prayed for. Because in that delay, Allah may have just saved you from a disaster you would never have seen coming. He sees the future you are walking into. He knows the people who will betray you, the places that will drain you, and the paths that will mislead you. So when things don't happen as fast as you want, or in the way you imagined, remind yourself, Allah is not denying me. He is protecting me from something I don't yet understand. In time, you'll look back and thank Him for every unanswered prayer, every silent night, and every delay that felt like a disappointment because it was never rejection. It was divine redirection from the one who loves you more than you love yourself. 2. You are not spiritually ready yet. Sometimes the reason for the delay is not because what you are asking for is too big, it's because your heart is not yet prepared to carry it. We ask Allah for blessings, success, love, peace, wealth, or influence. But we often overlook an important truth. Not every blessing feels like a blessing when it arrives too soon. Sometimes, receiving what you want too early can crush you instead of lift you. Think of a child who asks to drive a car. The car itself isn't bad, but giving it to someone who isn't ready is dangerous. In the same way, Allah knows that if He gave you what you're asking for right now, it might overwhelm you, feed your ego, damage your character, or take you further from Him. And because He loves you, He withholds not to harm you, but to prepare you. Preparation is part of the mercy. Delays are spiritual training. Allah is giving you time to strengthen your foundation, your discipline, your trust, your emotional balance, your intentions. Before He allows you to step into a new chapter of your life, He refines the version of you that will enter it. Because if the blessing comes and your heart is still fragile, if your habits are still weak, if your priorities are still misplaced, then what you hoped would complete, you may end up destroying you. So that feeling of being stuck, that season where everything seems motionless, it's not wasted time, it's your personal growth phase. It's where your character is being sharpened, your mindset is being elevated, and your inner world is being purified. You may not see it, but every silent moment is shaping you into someone more capable of handling the success you're praying for. Sometimes we confuse delay with denial, but in reality, delay is a pause for preparation. Allah is getting you ready to receive without arrogance, to succeed without falling into pride, and to be grateful without becoming entitled. If you haven't received what you want yet, ask yourself, is it possible that Allah is waiting for me to become the kind of person who can carry this blessing with humility and wisdom? The truth is, Allah doesn't just care about what you receive, He cares deeply about who you become while waiting to receive it. Because the goal is not just to get what you want, the goal is to become someone who can handle it, protect it, and use it for good. You are not waiting because you're forgotten. You are waiting because you are still being shaped. And when the time comes when your soul is ready, when your foundation is firm, Allah will give you more than what you asked for. And you'll realize that the delay was not a punishment, it was a mercy. A preparation for a future far better than the present you once begged to escape. 3. Allah has written a better story than the one you're asking for. We often think we know exactly what we need. We plan our lives in our heads, imagining how things should unfold, the perfect job, the ideal relationship, the dream lifestyle. And when those plans don't work out, when doors close and prayers seem unanswered, we fall into despair. We question why Allah would hold back something we so deeply want. But what we forget is this: Allah is not limited by your imagination. He is not bound by your plans. He is the author of your life, and His story for you is far better than the one you are trying to write for yourself. What you think is the perfect timing, Allah may know, is premature. What you see as a perfect opportunity, Allah may see as a trap. What you consider the best for your life may only be based on comfort or convenience, while Allah sees how it would affect your soul, your future, and your relationship with Him. You are focused on a small frame, but Allah sees the full picture. He sees the years ahead, the consequences of your choices, the ripple effects of your success, and the dangers behind your desires. While you're focused on the immediate relief, Allah is crafting a future that is aligned with your highest good, and that is pure, protected, and powerful, even if it doesn't look like what you expected. This is why some of your plans fall apart. It's not because you aim too high, it's because you aim too low. You asked for what seemed good, but Allah, who knows the secrets of the heavens and the earth, is preparing you for what is great. His delay is not rejection, it's redirection. He's gently guiding you away from a life that would have harmed you toward a life that will honor you. But the problem is, we're often too attached to our own version of the story. We become emotionally invested in specific outcomes, certain people, particular timelines. And when it doesn't unfold the way we imagined, we panic, we grieve, we question. But what if Allah is simply doing what He always promised to do, giving you what is best for you, even when you don't understand it yet? Sometimes, the prayer you think is going unanswered is being answered in the most beautiful way, by being replaced with something far more meaningful, far more lasting. The relationship you cried for may have ended so you could find peace within yourself. The job you were denied may have been the barrier that pushed you toward your real purpose. The move that didn't happen may have kept you from a spiritual downfall. When Allah delays, He is not just changing your direction, He is editing your story with love, with mercy, and with wisdom. And one day, when you're far down the road, you'll look back and realize every delay, every heartbreak, every no was actually a divine, wait, I have something better. So trust the author of your life more than the script you've written for yourself. Your story is not over. The chapter you're in right now may feel uncertain, but the ending Allah is preparing for you is full of meaning, beauty, and divine reward. The story you wanted may have been good, but the story Allah is writing for you is extraordinary. All you need to do is be patient in the pause and faithful in the silence, because the best pages of your life are still being written. 4. You are being taught tawakkul, trust without condition. Many people say they trust Allah, but the real measure of that trust isn't seen when life goes smoothly. It's revealed when nothing makes sense. When your prayers seem unanswered, when your efforts go unnoticed, when every direction feels blocked and delayed, this is when your faith is tested and your soul is trained to rely entirely on Allah. This is the school of tawakkul, and it is only entered through hardship. Tawakkul, true trust in Allah, doesn't mean expecting life to always be easy. It means remaining firm in your belief that Allah is guiding you, even when the path is covered in fog. It means believing He has a plan, even when you see no signs of it. Most people trust Allah as long as they see progress, as long as things are improving, as long as the timeline feels reasonable. But what about when months go by and nothing happens? What about when the people around you succeed while you remain stuck? That's when real tawakkul begins. Delays are not just obstacles, they are training grounds. They force you to let go of your illusions of control. They remind you that your sustenance, your timing, your future, none of it is in your hands. And that's not a punishment, it's a mercy. Because if everything depended on your limited understanding, you would collapse under the weight of your own expectations. When Allah delays you, He is teaching you to stop depending on results and start depending on Him. He is pulling you away from placing your hope in outcomes and drawing you closer to placing your hope in His will. This shift is one of the most powerful spiritual transformations you can go through, because once you develop unshakable trust in Allah, you are no longer enslaved by fear. You no longer panic in uncertainty. You no longer crumble when life doesn't go according to plan, because you now understand your peace doesn't come from knowing what will happen next. Your peace comes from knowing who is in control of it. This kind of trust is not built overnight. It is built in the silence between prayers and answers. It is built when you're on your knees asking, and all you hear is silence, but you keep asking anyway. It is built when everything inside you wants to give up, but something deeper says, stay, be patient, Allah sees you. Tawakkul is not passive. It's not just waiting and doing nothing. It's doing your part, making sincere effort, pouring your heart into your goals, and then releasing the outcome into Allah's hands, with full certainty that whatever happens is exactly what was meant to happen. It's walking through life with the quiet strength that says, even if I don't understand it now, I know my Lord is never wrong. So, if you're experiencing a delay and your heart feels restless, don't rush the process. Don't demand proof. Don't lose hope just because your timeline isn't being followed. Allah is not late. He is exact. He is precise. And while you're waiting, He's teaching you one of the greatest lessons of all. To stop looking for security in the plan and start finding it in the planner. 5. You're still holding on to something that Allah wants you to release. One of the most overlooked reasons why Allah may delay your breakthrough is because your hands are still full. You're asking Allah for a new chapter, but you haven't closed the old one. You're begging for peace, but still holding tightly to the very things that disturb your soul. And until you release what is not meant for you, the blessings you seek will remain just beyond your reach, not out of cruelty, but out of wisdom. We often pray for change while clinging to what Allah has already removed. You might be asking for emotional healing while continuing to revisit a relationship that broke you. You might be asking for growth while refusing to let go of limiting beliefs, toxic attachments, or past regrets. You want the future to begin, but you're still chained to the weight of what was. And here lies the truth. You cannot receive with closed fists. Sometimes Allah delays your rise not because the blessing isn't ready, but because you're not empty enough to hold it yet. He sees that you're still emotionally entangled in things He has clearly taken away. He sees the way your heart keeps going back to doors He has already closed. And so, in His mercy, He waits, He delays, not to punish you, but to give you time to let go. Letting go is not easy. It can feel like loss. It can feel like failure. But in reality, letting go is liberation. It's Allah's way of clearing the space within you for something purer, something more aligned, something you haven't even imagined yet. He cannot pour new water into a vessel that's already overflowing with what's expired. And so, He waits for your surrender. And the longer you resist, the longer the delay stretches. The more tightly you grip the past, the more pain you feel in the present. But the moment you loosen your grip, the moment you truly say, Ya Allah, I release what is not for me, I trust you to fill this space with what is better, that's the moment things begin to shift. That's when your heart becomes light enough to carry what is written for you. Letting go does not mean you don't care. It means you've learned that your peace is more important than forcing what doesn't fit. It means you've matured enough to walk away from what drains you, even if it once made you feel alive. It means you trust Allah enough to believe that whatever He removes, He replaces with something far greater. So ask yourself, what am I still holding on to that I know deep down is not part of my future? That habit, that fear, that attachment, that memory, that voice of doubt. It's time to release it. Because as long as you're full of the wrong thing, there will be no space for the right one. Allah delays not because you don't deserve better, but because you haven't yet made room for it. 6. You are being tested to refine your patience and gratitude. Delays are never random. They are deliberate tests sent to reveal what lies deep within you, beyond your words, beyond your desires, beyond your outward actions. They are mirrors that reflect the state of your soul when nothing seems to be moving. And one of the greatest lessons these delays bring is this: your true patience and your true gratitude are not revealed when life is going well. They are revealed when everything stands still. It's easy to be thankful when blessings are pouring in. It's easy to be patient when the wait is short. But what happens when your prayers remain unanswered for months, maybe even years? What happens when you've done everything right, and yet nothing seems to change? This is where the test begins, not of your strength, but of your sincerity. Patience in Islam is not passive. It's not about doing nothing and hoping for the best. Patience is an active form of faith. It's choosing to remain consistent in your worship, choosing to guard your tongue from complaint, choosing to keep doing good even when the results are delayed. It's standing firm in your belief that Allah has not forgotten you, even when every sign around you tempts you to give up. Allah says in the Quran, "Indeed, the patient will be given their reward without measure." Why without measure? Because the reward is not just for waiting, it's for how you wait. It's for the quiet tears you wipe away alone. It's for the prayers you whisper even when your heart is tired. It's for the gratitude you express even when you don't feel like celebrating anything. Gratitude in times of delay is one of the most powerful acts of worship. When you can say Alhamdulillah in the middle of your storm, you are declaring that your love for Allah is not based on circumstances. You are showing that your faith is not a transaction, it is a relationship. You don't just love Him because He gives, you love Him because He is worthy of being loved, even when He withholds. Delays refine your soul. They burn away impatience. They expose your emotional attachments. They strengthen your reliance on Allah alone. Every time you wait with dignity, every time you choose trust over frustration, your heart becomes stronger, cleaner, more resilient. And Allah, in His wisdom, records every moment of that inner struggle. Nothing is lost. You may not realize it now, but this delay is shaping you into a person of deep spiritual wealth, someone who can handle blessings with humility and hardship with grace, someone who doesn't break when life pauses, someone who becomes unshakable not because life is easy, but because their faith has been forged through the fire of waiting. So the next time you feel the bitterness of delay creeping in, ask yourself, am I being refined or am I resisting the process? Your attitude during the delay determines your outcome after it. Choose patience. Choose gratitude, because those who master their emotions during the wait are the ones Allah raises the highest when the wait is over. 7. You are being hidden because your time has not come yet. In a world obsessed with visibility, instant success, and constant recognition, being hidden can feel like a curse. When your efforts go unseen, when your talents are overlooked, when your heart keeps giving but receives little in return, it's easy to feel like you're behind, forgotten, or simply not good enough. But what if this season of being hidden is not a sign of rejection, but a sign of sacred preparation? What if Allah is not exposing you to the world because He's still shaping the version of you that is meant to be seen? Sometimes, Allah delays your public rise because He wants to first build your inner strength in private. Just like seeds must remain underground before they blossom, your soul must develop in silence before your purpose is revealed. And this period of hiddenness, though uncomfortable, is often one of the most critical phases of your journey. It is where your intentions are purified, where your foundation is strengthened, and where your connection with Allah is deepened without the noise and pressure of public attention. You might look around and see others advancing while you feel stuck in place. But remember, just because your chapter is not visible doesn't mean your story isn't being written. Some of the most powerful servants of Allah were kept hidden for years before their light was revealed. Prophet Yusuf was hidden in a well, then in a prison. Yet it was precisely those hidden years that shaped his character, purified his soul, and prepared him to become a trusted leader. Being hidden is protection. It protects you from arrogance, from distraction, from premature exposure to environments you are not ready for. It shields you from the weight of expectations that you are not yet strong enough to carry. Because if you are elevated too soon, you may collapse under the very success you prayed for. So when you feel invisible, when your work goes unnoticed, when no one seems to see your value, understand that Allah sees. And sometimes, that is all that matters. His delay is not because you are unworthy. It is because the version of you that He is preparing needs more time to mature, to learn, to heal, to surrender. And when the time is right, no one and nothing can stop what He has written for you. Allah's plan is not delayed. It is perfectly timed. He is hiding you not to break your spirit, but to protect your spirit, not to humiliate you, but to elevate you when you are truly ready. And when that moment arrives, when the world finally sees what Allah has been shaping in silence, they will not just see your success, they will feel the depth of your character. They will witness the strength of your soul. They will see the light that only years of being hidden could have created. So if you're in that quiet season, if no doors are opening and no one is calling your name, stay still. Stay faithful. Trust the process. Your time is coming. And when it does, it will be clear that you were not forgotten. You were simply being prepared in private for a moment that is written with divine precision. If you've been waiting, wondering, or even hurting in silence, know this. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. Every delay in your life has meaning. Every unanswered prayer is heard. Every silent moment is filled with divine precision. What you think is being withheld is simply being reserved for the right time, the right version of you, the right season of your soul. You wanted the door to open, but Allah is building the house. You wanted the answer now, but Allah is perfecting the outcome. You wanted the blessing, but Allah is first shaping the blessed. And when He delays, it's not because you can't have it, it's because you can't carry it yet. Allah sees what would break you, and so He protects you from it. He sees what would poison your heart, and so He keeps it out of reach. He sees the weight of what you're asking for, and before He gives it to you, He strengthens your spirit to hold it with wisdom and gratitude, not ego and entitlement. So don't curse the delay. Don't allow the silence to convince you that Allah is distant. Instead, use this waiting season as your becoming season. Become more patient, become more humble, become more trusting. Because when Allah finally says, "Now you're ready," the blessing will not be small. It will be precise, it will be purposeful, and it will be something that no one, absolutely no one, can take away from you. You are not being delayed because you're forgotten. You are being delayed because you're chosen. And what is written for you will never miss you, no matter how long it takes. Trust the delay. Surrender to the process. And let the author of your life finish the masterpiece He's writing through you.